presenting his research proposal with the title Web-based Urban Dictionary for Indonesian Slang. Miswa will be presenting approximately about 15 to 20 minutes, followed by some review and feedbacks from peer students, also insights and feedback from the other reviewer slash panelist slash assessor. Without further ado, I think Miswa, the floor is yours.
Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin, sayyidina Muhammadin wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yaumil din. To my respect, my first supervisor, Mr. Kurnia Sabuka, STNFJ, my secondary supervisor, Ms. Rini Fidjani, STN. And my final assignment examiners, Mr. Alim Nisbullah, SSE, MSc, and Mr. Hussaini, MSc. And to all my friends and colleagues, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Bakri, from the class of 2019 from the Department of Informatics. I will be presenting my final assignment proposal titled Web-based Urban Dictionary for Indonesian Slang. So these are the contents I will be discussing today. I will start in the introduction. So in this modern time, there has been a significant influence of slang words in the Indonesian language among teenagers. These slang words originated from foreign languages or native Indonesian languages, which influenced the Indonesian vocabulary of youngsters nowadays. So the solution that I propose is to provide a web-based urban dictionary application which will help understand and explain the definitions of these slang words that have been popularized by social media and teenagers. And this app isn't just limited to the slang words of Indonesian, but also the native languages of Indonesia, such as Achinese, Japanese, and so on and so forth. Okay. With that said, I will begin to discuss the problem. So, most people nowadays use social medias in their daily lives, which affects the usage of Indonesian language in some people. And next is, there are a lot of slang words that is used, but without knowing its definition or how it's used. And lastly, Gen Z is sometimes mixed Indonesian languages with their own native languages or even foreign languages which they hear in social media. So these are the solutions I present, which is first is to provide a platform to collect slang words which facilitates the changes in the Indonesian languages. And next is to have a frequently utilized slang place which you can access the definitions at any time, any place. And lastly is for us to differentiate slang words and foreign languages, as well as the languages as well as the native Indonesian languages. So What are these benefits, you might ask? So first of all is by having an urban dictionary website, we can have people share their interpretations of each slang word, a place, a medium to store the definitions so that other people can see and share their definitions. Lastly is by having a place for slang, people can learn the evolution of Indonesian languages for years to come. Okay. So I would like to discuss my references that I searched and read. First of all, what is an urban dictionary? From what I've gathered, an urban dictionary is an online crowdfunding website where you can give your own interpretation and word definitions so that people can vote which of the definitions fits the words itself. Then there is the influence of slang languages. So this shows how nowadays use social media and it affects their Indonesian vocabularies, which can be seen in this article. And then I'll move on to what I will be using. First is the UML diagram, which I will be using to make a blueprint and the blueprint of my project. And then there will be and then there's the programming language that I'll be using, which is Python. It is a very popular programming language, which I'll be using alongside Django, which is a framework that uses the MVT structure, which MVT stands for Model View Template. And then I will be using, at first I was going to use MongoDB, but then after a few bits of research, apparently MongoDB it's not very compatible with the newer version of Django, so I decided to use PostgreSQL for the database. And then the workflow that I will be using is Scrum for its robust planning and principles that it provides. And lastly on this page is the paper prototype and physical prototype. So the paper prototype will be used to simulate the program, and then I will digitalize it with the digital prototype. Okay, so lastly is the testing stages. First, I will be doing the black box testing, which only tests the user side, which is the features of this website, since all I really need is just the user's ease of use for that. So that's why I also have usability testing to make sure that the website can be used for all people. And that's it for the references. Now I will move on to my methods that I'll be using. First, this is the time and location. The location will be this campus and my home, and the time will start from 8 months from now until 8 months later. Next is the tools and software that I'll be using, and then next, this is the flowchart of my research methods, which starts with the issue identification. The first 3 stages I've already conducted, and right after this seminar I will move on to the web development stages. Next is the monthly schedule, as you can see right here. Next is the research stages. First is the identification of the problem, which I've already discussed in the introduction, and then the literature review, which I've already discussed as well in the second part. Next is the design prototype stage, which first I use the UML diagram. First, here at the top is the use case diagram as the class diagram. The use case shows two actors interacting with this system, and these are all the use cases features that can be used in this website. And this class diagram shows how the objects are connected with each other. So here you can see there's a user and word. If the user is destroyed, then all the words connected to that user are gone. Now this is the flow chart. The flow chart shows the pages of what the regular users will see. On the right side right here, you can see the login and register page, which doesn't require an account, and the left side is pages that require an account. And next is the admin page, which is similar to the regular users page, but it has a database page now, so the admin can manage the website. Alright, next, in designing the website, I use Django, which, like I said before, a model-based MPT structure framework. MPT stands for Model View Template. So the model right here is used to interact with the database, which is the PostgreSQL, and View is the link that will provide the template, which is used by HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and so on. And then there is the project management framework, which is Scrum, and Scrum I will use is sprint cycles principle, which then I will create a backlog of the first iteration of sprint, and as you can see right here, this is the first sprint backlog. I will be focusing on the registration and the login page in the first sprint to ensure that the website is secure and people can use this website with an account. And then the second sprint will require the form page, so the user can input their slang and word definitions and see what they have already inputted in their user page. Next is the third sprint, where I will be focusing on the admin side now and create the database page. And lastly is the search page and the final touch of this website. Alright. And then in the testing stage, the first testing stage is the black box testing, which I will be testing these scenarios, as you can see right here, to ensure that the user can freely use this application. And finally is the design changes and usability test, which is similar to black box test. So I will do usability test and the black box testing simultaneously, since they're pretty similar. And if the user has any problem with the UI or the user experience, then I will take that to account and fix it in the design changes. Alright, that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening. Honorable examiners, I presented all my concepts of my final assignment. Thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to answer questions.
Thank you, Nizwan, for your presentation. We will have our students asking questions or examiners for that. Who is the examiner? Carly, please.
Maybe first of all, I'd like to give some comments. Like for me, as a foreigner living in Indonesia and learning bahasa, it's a kind of difficult to face with these slang words, and so that's why I guess the research of the Nizwan would be like useful for foreigners. I mean, that's a good research. My comment. And the question maybe, is it possible to use this web application maybe without the internet, offline? And also, like, how do you think about the making the application of this, not just the website? Just to improving your research, I mean. So it will be like easy to use like my application or offline web application. My question. Thank you.
Alright, I will answer my comment. So with this web application, it really requires the internet since there's a voting system. Maybe in the future I will decide whether it can be connected without an internet, but for the time being it will be relying on the internet connection. And then for this project, I think I'll be making it only locally for now, and then create a GitHub page because I don't think I have time to make a cloud version of it or a website currently, so it'll be locally for now. Yeah, that's all.
Anyone else want to give some insight or feedback for visual research? Anyone?
Bahasa Indonesia boleh. Kalau bahasa Indonesia boleh, nanti tetap dijawab.
Tidak mau, oke, tidak mau.
Apa bahasa Indonesia?
Belakang
Sini lagi, jangan cek dulu. Darisa. Sini lagi. Sini lagi, iya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The question is, if users find an inappropriate slang, do they have the ability to report it or perhaps delete the slang? Thank you.
So, yes, that is one of the features, as you can see in the third spread backlog. There's a report GUI. So, if there's an inappropriate word or people don't like it, or it's a controversial word, you can report the word, and the admin will see whether or not it's really bad, and you can delete it. So yes, there is a report.
He asked about report or record?
Report feature, yeah, there is. Yep. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Your name tadi siapa? Safira. Indeed, the report is a very important feature ya, karena because it will be so many people included in this slide. Next, one more student or two more questions.
You said that you will use a Django framework for your research, and my question is, what is the advantage of Django framework? Thank you.
So in Django, there is, like I said before, it's model view template. So with the models, you can create the models from Django and then migrate it to PostgreSQL. So that's one of the advantages. And then there is a built-in admin page, so you can, without you don't have to create the admin page straight out of the bat because they already provide you an admin page, so that's one of the advantages. And then, yeah, that's all that I can think of. And from my point of view, that's what I think the benefits of Django are.
Thank you, Abdul. There is some few advantage from Django. Maybe it can be your reference also, yeah, and apply in your application or website. One more question, maybe from girls. Ayo, satu lagi. Ini direkam nih kamera, jadi bakalan terkenal nanti habis. Yes.
Satu lagi boleh Mas Indonesia.
Yuk, satu lagi yuk.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Fitri dari Angkatan 2020. Di sini saya ingin menanyakan apakah sistem ini yang nanti akan dibangun itu bersistem dengan sistem monolit yang dimana pendeteksian slide wordnya itu dijadikan dalam satu kesatuan dengan aplikasi webnya, atau akan dibuat dengan sistem yang non monolit yang akan terpisah satu sama lain. Kemudian
monolith. Well, I didn't think about it like that. Well, for the Slang word, I'm thinking like it's just connected to the user, and then it's pretty straightforward. I didn't think of it deeply, but for Slang word, it's just connected to the user, and the database will create a foreign key, and then it will be connected with the user's input Slang words like that. And yeah, that's it. It's not too complex.
Maybe we can do that in the future. So maybe some of you will inspired by this case and have the idea to create monolith. Okay. We can move forward to the examiner from who wants to go first. Alim or
First again. Okay, thank you, Freddy, for your attention to me. First, I would like to congrats Ms. Wa. The first time in our department to deliver your presentation in English. It's so exciting for me to be part of your seminar today. And in this seminar today, I just want to clarify some point and write in proposal actually. First is about the features. I don't see clearly about the feature that you want to put in your apps. You just make like some table about the item, the screen 1, screen 2, and screen 3. But your proposal you write the feature that you want to put in your app.
Visually. Oh, visually.
Actually, the item of the feature that you want to put or you want to develop in your apps there. What kind of the feature that you want to develop?
I just only discussed how the feature will work, like the voting system. So it's a slang word. Let's say the user input a slang word.
Yes.
And that's one of the features. And then other users can see that slang word and see if they like it or not, and vote whether it's how they interpret it or not. They can vote on it, and then other people can also vote on it. They can also report on the word, which the admin can use.
So which means that the user who wants to use your app, they have to register first.
Yeah, yes, they have to register first before they can input the word. But regular users can also search for the word. They don't have to have an account just to see what those word is, but they cannot.
So which means that for the guests, they
Yeah.
don't need to register. They just can find a word in your app
Yeah.
without the register or without the login.
Yeah.
Okay. And then who can input or put the slang word in your apps?
Oh.
I mean that, for example, the user register their name and then they need to activation from the admin or something else.
Oh, I don't think they need to. They just register and like normally, and then they can use the website however they like without any verification or anything as of now.
Okay. I think it's quite. I can say that it's quite simple, right? Simple.
Yeah.
Because you write in English, you make it so incredible proposal thing. But your work is, in my opinion, is so simple. I think this one, right? But anyway, it's okay. So the second one is in your proposal you mentioned the MongoDB and PostgreSQL.
Yeah.
Which one you want to use?
Now I decided to use PostgreSQL. MongoDB is
Yeah, if you
original
decide to use the PostgreSQL, you should write the literature review in your chapter 2 about the PostgreSQL, right? Not just write the difference MongoDB and PostgreSQL. And then in the chapter 3, I think you can remove the MongoDB because you don't use it anymore, right?
Okay.
And also you can put the version of the software you want to use. For example, PostgreSQL, which version you want to use. And also about you also use the Python, right?
Yes.
Inside the web framework Django. Django is part of the Python.
Well, it primarily uses Python. Yeah.
So which means that you have to install the Python first in your OS and then install the Django.
Yeah.
Without Python, Django will not work.
Yeah.
Okay, you should put the version of the Django that you want to use. And also the Python. Which version you want to use for the Python. And I also see in your software you put the two OS, Linux and Windows. Which one you want to use?
Oh, I have to decide about. I can use both.
Do you use both?
Yeah, just in case like I need to transfer to Windows and then Linux and then.
So in which OS you develop your system?
Originally, first is Linux, and then if I needed Windows, I can switch between both OS of them.
Okay, you see that you use the software here not only to develop your apps but also for your work case.
Yeah.
That's right?
Yeah.
It's okay, no problem.
Oh.
So the other is how many user roles are provided in your apps?
How many users? You mean how many?
User roles. For example, like the admin and user and then the user and then the verificator.
Oh, user roles.
You only have two roles.
Only two.
Admin and user.
Regular user. Okay.
So any user can register without the verification.
Yeah.
Okay, so show me more about this one. And another is about the question for backlog testing. you put the question for the backlog testing, right?
Yeah.
So this question designed by you.
Yes.
You design the question.
Yeah, I made the questions and the scenario as well.
Where you take this question? I mean, you have any reference for this question, or you just thinking, oh, this question I have to ask?
Well, I just checked my higher classmen thesis and then look it up. I look up how they make their scenarios and I base it off of that, and then I also check the features that I want to test as well, and that's where I got it.
So I think you also have to put, it's better to put the reference, where you refer about this question. Even you design the question yourself, you should put the reference for the question. And the other is, who is the audience to test your apps?
I'm thinking for now it should be
Users,
this campus.
your friends?
Yeah.
How many?
First, I'm thinking like minimum five people for black box and disability test, and then after
if it's successful, I'll add another. If it's successful, I'll end it there. If it's not successful, I'll add 5 more. And then,
And the next question is, if it's possible for ordinary or the general user will be admin.
no, it's just very specific. If the only way to create an admin is by an admin.
you have to go to the admin to create the admin account, and then after that, they can use admin like that.
So admin will create another admin.
Yeah. Regular user cannot create an admin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last one, because based on the question from the Sapira, he said the report, but in my ear I hear the report. So it come out the new question for me. Maybe it's better if you provide the recording word. For example, just the idea. For example, for the foreigner, they want to spell the pronunciation, right? How to spell the word, right? For example, like I still don't know the example of the slang word that you want to develop here. You don't put any example of the word. I just asked the Usaini, what is the slang word? Usaini just said Uchi. I don't really, yeah. Which means that maybe for the foreigner letter who want to use your app, they can hear the way how they pronounce the word, right? Yeah, it's better. It's simple, I think, right? In the Google, you can just record the word and then put it there in your app so that they can access how to pronounce, like the Google Assistant now, right? Right. I think that's all for me, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Pak Ali. Pak Ali probably will absolutely use this website for slang. How to pronounce it
Yeah.
properly. Next, maybe Pak Saini.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dini. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate Ms. Wale for the seminar today. And from my side, first about the writing style of writing. You can see on page 22 there is one and you miss the translation for the word diagram dan dia dapat saving bahasanya. And then for the disability test, page 4 of the disability test I want to do this and you research.
The usability test.
Yes. I saw on your report that you had mentioned some of the questions. You can explain again on the screen.
These are test scenarios I'll be asking the user. First, initially they want to make an account, and then how they're going to log into the account. Very straightforward, and after that they would submit a word that they want, and then they can look up that word that they just input just to see if the program has registered it, and then after that they can vote for that word or they can download it like that, and then they can import that word just for test purposes, and then after that they can check the user's input by their user's page like that.
I think if you provide those kind of questions, it will be difficult for the scholar. Like this we said they have some kind of as you know, like system usability testing, etc. Maybe you can choose one of the kind of usually test want to use. They have also provide question. You can refer to that kind of the text, right? And probably responder with get what when you ask this kind of question. It's better to use like they mentioned on the scale, right? Or scale for like maybe the first question there's like 5 scale, 1 to 5 low to high, right? Yes, score. So probably mostly commonly for the solutions you can choose. You can refer to like SUS or etc. It depends on your choice. Yeah? And you can check again and discuss with your supervisor later afterwards. Yeah. And yeah, it's really unique. Yeah. I also to be honored to be one of the committee for your proposal defense and proposal. So maybe because your research you use object programming in English, right? But actually your research about Indonesian language is really unique. Yeah? Maybe you can tell me a little bit about your background, please, because I guess you know that I'm new here, right?
Yeah.
If you could explain a bit about your background.
Well, in the beginning, I'm just
where you come from is
yeah. Well, at the beginning, my mom went to Sydney to have her master's degree there, and then I was born there as well. So, and then after that, I came back to Malaysia and did school here until 3rd year of primary school, and then I moved to Adelaide because my mom went to get her 3rd degree there. And then after 4 years later, I started studying English there. I learned like a normal kid right there. Until the 7th year, I came back to Malaysia and studied in Aptitian. And after that, I moved to Apti just because I'm used to using English in my daily life like that. I speak English with my brother, and so I decided to go to Pati for bilingual reasons like that.
Okay, so you are Indonesian, native Indonesian, right? Okay. So that's fine, that's fine. And then maybe I would like to continue about the question, right? About the rule, right? So maybe you say for this application you only have 2 rules, right? Rule.
Oh yeah.
Admin and user, right? Is right?
Yeah.
Regular user, right? And just maybe, and also something I mentioned before, right?
Yes.
About the how to handle the death of unappropriate vote, right? So maybe you can explain or make more detail about the rule. What can admin do for this application and the common user or regular user do? Like for example, maybe I would suggest you to put the ranking here. So every word we already have the translation, they have the ranking, right? You can put the scale in 1 to 5. So how good the translation is be there. So then the guest who don't have any content can see, right? Depends on the rating from the users.
I think the rating is from vote. Like people can vote whether up or down. The vote will count by numbers, so whichever is the highest, it should be at the top of the list.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You can design it later. Yeah. So I suggest you to use like 4 voting or rating rate, right? For each word, so that user they have like idea about their policy on the translation there, maybe. And also maybe the other suggestion is about the admin can have the authority to remove the backward, depend on the report. User also can report the backward, right? So then later admin can use to keep it or to remove it from the database. And other thing is and maybe the last question from me. What happened maybe if the word that already have translation on the database? Let's say like in different fields database we have query, maybe only someone already fill it, and then another comes with different translation. So how you can manage this situation?
What we come up with is the users are allowed to have multiple inputs of the same word. And yes, their definition will be different, but that's where other users come in and vote whether or not it's correct or it's inappropriate or whatever like that.
Yeah, maybe you can put like based on the rating you put the ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, for each translation. Yeah. The first rank, second rank, etc. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's enough for me. Yeah. So,
Thank you, Sandy, for the questions and suggestions. Last, please.
This one. Did you do this with latex?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it exactly as panduan TA? Is it exactly as panduan TA?
Last I checked, yes, but except for some parts.
Okay. So your table of figures, there's a space between 2.8 and 3.1. Don't think that is supposed to be there. And then on page table of figure. Seven in Roman. Yeah, list of figure, and then on your preface. So if you want to say someone as your first supervisor, then ST is on top of the bottom. First, satu is D, ST is on top. Check on your preface. Yeah, ST, and then second, 2 and E is on top. Third, 3 RT is on top. It's super strict. Yeah. Can you do that in latex?
I will try.
Yeah. Okay. And then, on your research purpose, on page. Okay, page 2. The first one, the uni website aims to provide a place to collect slang words or to document the changes in the Indonesian language. Okay, that's fine. The second one, yeah. Mami ngomong sebentar aja. Abis ini udah selesai kita naik ke atas, ya. Kita main di atas, oke? The second one, the second one, I don't think it fits with what you are trying to achieve. Sebentar. So the second one, in an effort to simplify the understanding of slang, which is often used in everyday life by providing media to share understanding of slang. That is a statement, not a research purpose. The first one is a research purpose because you say the website aims to do something, so you have an objective, right? And then the third one is also the same. There's an aim, but the second one doesn't have any aim at all. So you have to create an aim. Or you just click the second one completely. Yeah, you can talk to your supervisor about it, yeah? Okay, benefit is fine. And then what kind of, the same question as Pak Husaini, maybe you have to consider standard usability testing. There are many that I've used before. NAFLA use PSSQQ, 19 questions, 7.8 the scale, you can choose any other. If SUS is very common, everyone is already using SUS, maybe you can use something else. And then you didn't include any similar research. Has anyone done similar research before? Or even from Twitter, maybe? Have they ever classified Indonesian slang words in Twitter or something like that?
I haven't looked that up yet.
Yeah, probably you can include similar research in chapter 2. And then your figure 3.2 is still in Indonesian. Maybe you can change that to English. It's on page 22. Okay, and then last question. Last question, I'm sorry. And then your sprint planning, is this what you are going to do for each sprint?
That's the plan, yeah.
So it's still a plan, you haven't done sprint 1 yet?
Yeah, not yet. After this, we get the development stage.
Sprint 1, okay. And then how are you going to record your sprint? Like what you're doing in each sprint, are you going to record it in Trello or anything like that? How can we see, because you're talking about each sprint, how can we see this later in seminar hasil?
Alright, maybe I can create
I can make it in Trello or as a Figma as a what's it called a sticky note like that.
Yeah, and then maybe finally in seminar hasil itself be a little bit more confident.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Your English is good, it's just the delivery is not very smooth.
Yeah.
Maybe later on and practice with your friends. Okay, that's all for me.
For my opinion, you should add guess. Guess. Just guess. Because guess, you don't have to register, you don't have to log in. So, like me, for example, I just want to see what are slang words in the website. It's just part of rules, actually. Instead of just admin and user, you must have like yes. Interesting, but what Pak Alim and Pak Husaini suggest, maybe it should add like temporary database for bad words. So if someone submit bad words, we can detect just in case. So we have list of bad words in our database. For the first check, and then if not so, then we can delete it. That's all.
I think while we have reached the end of our proposal, may you have something to say to all the audience and lecturers, please.
Thank you for everyone who attended this seminar. Thank you again for the final examiners. I will try and fix my issues with yeah.